Hey everyone, okay, so this is a video I wanted to make discussing the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series that we're going to be getting on Disney+. Of course, they are set to start filming in March, so it's right around the corner. Things are really ramping up now, but one thing in particular is the Darth Maul question, because Ray Park on his social media has been posting a number of Darth Maul related images. The first notable one was a photo of the Darth Maul prosthetic with the caption "Meet me on Dathomir." So of course it's got people putting two and two together and questioning, well, are we going to see Darth Maul make a return? Of course the timing as well it's a hell of a coincidence, right as Obi-Wan's about to start rolling cameras, Ray Park starts posting all of these Darth Maul related images. And to add to the speculation, or to fuel the speculation, he also recently posted a photo of him as Darth Maul and Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan back from when they were filming Phantom Menace. So all these little things, it's difficult not to ask the question, will Darth Maul make a return in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? Now, of course, back at the Disney investor presentation late last year, Kathleen Kennedy, of course, said that we can expect the rematch of the century between Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan, and Hayden Christensen's Darth Vader. So that suggests that the main story of this series is going to be surrounding Obi-Wan and Vader, which is great. Of course, we don't know how this confrontation is going to take place. We don't know if they are actually going to come face to face, or it could be a vision. It could be something like Obi-Wan having to basically conquer his demons. So it obviously, there's so much we don't know. Everything, as you would expect, is being kept heavily under wraps. But if we were to speculate how it might play out, Obi-Wan's going to be in the desert watching over Luke. Of course, this takes place 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith, so it's smack bang in the middle between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So Obi-Wan's in the desert watching over Luke. Of course, it's reasonable to assume that he would be in communication with Yoda, and also it's almost for definite that Liam Neeson's going to be involved in this as Qui-Gon in some capacity. It could be that he appears to Obi-Wan in spirit form, basically, and he could be the one that encourages him. Not all is lost, there's still good in Anakin. So Obi-Wan might ultimately be kicked into gear by Qui-Gon, and he might, Obi-Wan might decide, right, I'm going to have one last go at this. I'm going to go to Vader and I'm going to see if I can get through to Anakin and bring him back from the brink. But obviously things won't go to plan, and things will basically escalate between them, and then lightsabers will be drawn. And that'll basically explain where Alec Guinness's mindset is in the original trilogy, when he says to Luke, he's more machine now than man, twisted and evil. That'll explain obviously how Obi-Wan's came to the conclusion that, yeah, there's no bringing this guy back, he's too far gone. But also, Christian Harloff's talked about the line that Vader has in Return of the Jedi when he says to Luke, Obi-Wan wants thought as you do. We've never seen that, we didn't see that in Revenge of the Sith, so it would be nice to see them explore that and elaborate on that, and see Obi-Wan, he's not going to give up on his friend yet. There's still hope, but then obviously things aren't going to end well there. That would be interesting. But then there's the alternative where we could see Obi-Wan take essentially the pilgrimage, for lack of a better term, that Yoda took at the end of season 6 of the Clone Wars, where Yoda goes on the journey guided by the spirit of Qui-Gon Jinn to learn the path to immortality. So obviously this involves Yoda travelling to the Sith homeworld, and he comes face to face with the ghost of Darth Bane, and also one of the trials he has to endure is confronting a dark side version of himself, an evil version of himself. And also during the course of this pilgrimage he comes face to face with the wills of the Force. And this was all fascinating stuff, so getting to see all that play out in live action with Obi-Wan going on this journey would be fascinating. But here's the thing, where Yoda was given the trial of having to face the dark side version of himself, what if Obi-Wan's given the trial of confronting Vader? Again, be that actually confronting Vader or confronting a vision of Vader reminiscent of the cave sequence from Empire Strikes Back. It would just be absolutely fascinating to see. There's so many different things they can do with it. And the Obi-Wan series itself, getting to see Obi-Wan dealing with the trauma, the PTSD, and getting to see him deal with the guilt following the events of Revenge of the Sith. You know, a man really having a crisis of faith. You know, we can see him basically at his lowest point, and the arc they could give him and the character development that they could give him in this series it's astronomical. You know, we see him go from his lowest point. Obviously it's going to be a very different Obi-Wan, an Obi-Wan we've never seen before, and then getting to see him get back on the horse and regain his faith, and you know, complete the journey to where he becomes Alec Guinness. You know, we get to see him transcend, you know, and get to the point where he's on such another level. It would be fascinating to see, and of course getting to see him watching over Luke, getting to see what happens between him and Owen Lars, to the point where, you know, we understand why Owen is so hostile towards Ben Kenobi. Some absolutely fascinating stuff there, and we've talked of course about the possibility of flashbacks and all this. I think Vader, regardless of whether he and Obi-Wan actually come face to face, I think Vader's going to get a lot of screen time in the series. You know, seeing, obviously on one side we're seeing what Obi-Wan's going through, but then seeing what Anakin is going through as he becomes more and more Darth Vader and less Anakin Skywalker. And obviously seeing him do the real dark things that you've heard about, where he's hunting down Force users, and you could have Obi-Wan getting visions of this and flashes and images, and he just, it'd be horrifying for him. But then there's the Darth Maul question. So I've heard reports that obviously the Obi-Wan series is going to be 6 episodes. I've heard that. Then I also heard at the time when they did the page 1 rewrite, I'd heard that it had been reduced from 6 episodes to 4 episodes. But we'll just operate on the assumption that it's 6, and we can adjust accordingly. So if we say the bulk of the series, let's say 5 of the 6 episodes are focused on the Obi-Wan and Vader thing, and we wrap that up in episode 5. That's where they have the confrontation, and we put that to bed. So then that leaves us with this episode 6, this one last episode. Now how about if this 6th episode functions more as an epilogue than anything else, and it could have a bit of a time jump to where we see Obi-Wan that bit older. And also what would be really interesting in this epilogue, this would be an opportunity to see Ewan McGregor play full-on Alec Guinness Obi-Wan Kenobi. And in this epilogue, this final 6th episode, we could incorporate those elements from Rebels, where Maul finds this holocron on Malachor and he gains the knowledge from it that Obi-Wan's still alive and he's living on Tatooine. So all this stuff could be going on, and we could have Obi-Wan sensing it and getting flashes of what's going on, because it's established very clearly in the Twin Sons episode when Ezra Bridger meets up with Kenobi. It's established that Obi-Wan knows all about Maul. So having him, sensing all this stuff, so then he starts to basically prepare himself. There's a strong possibility that Maul could be coming here hunting me down, and I've got to be ready. And then obviously the sequence itself from Rebels, where Obi-Wan and Maul do come face to face and Maul meets his end at Obi-Wan's hands, basically seeing them recreate that in live action, because it's a great scene. But it would be so cool to see Ewan McGregor and Ray Park get to play that out in live action. It'd be really, really cool. And even if it was a literal shot-for-shot recreation of the scene, because they've set the precedent now in the last couple of episodes of Star Wars The Clone Wars. In the Star Wars Clone Wars series finale, they have a moment where they recreate the scene from Revenge of the Sith, where they have that dialogue between, obviously there's Yoda, there's Mace Windu, there's Ki-Adi-Mundi, where they have that exchange. If Palpatine does not give up his emergency powers after the defeat of General Grievous, then he should be removed from office. That scene, and of course they add to that by bringing Ahsoka in there. But they've took a literal scene, they've took actual dialogue from Revenge of the Sith and they've recreated it. And then if we were to do the reverse here, where we took a scene from Rebels and we've recreated it in live action, so we've done the reverse, it's a strong possibility, and it would be phenomenal to get to see Ewan McGregor and Ray Park play that scene out. And it would be a great way to cap off the Obi-Wan series. But again, obviously this is all speculation. We don't know what we don't know. Anything's possible at this point. But obviously this is the time to start getting excited and start talking about it, because literally by the end of next month cameras will be rolling, and things are going to come thick and fast. We'll start, obviously, because with them rolling, we're going to start getting set photos and things like that, and you never know what leaks might come out. But yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. Obviously we've had some fantastic Star Wars. For me, the final 4 episodes of the Clone Wars, the Siege of Mandalore, that's the greatest piece of Star Wars we've ever gotten. And obviously there's so much love for the Mandalorian, but we're entering a golden age. I really do believe that. But to go alongside this, as great as the Star Wars we've seen over the years, I think this Obi-Wan Kenobi series is going to take it. This Obi-Wan series is going to be the greatest piece of Star Wars we've ever received. I genuinely believe that, and I think it's going to be Ewan McGregor's best work, period. I really think he's going to knock it out the park, because I think he's going to go to places with this character that we've never seen before. I think we got a fantastic taste of what we might get when we saw what Ewan McGregor did in Doctor Sleep, with the Dan Torrance character. I think we're going to see a lot of that in this, but it's going to be fascinating. So again, that brings this to a close. Basically, it's time to get excited, release the hype engine, because it's literally just around the corner. Obviously, ultimately it'll be released in 2022, that's what they're aiming for, but to start getting any pieces of information that we can get as production begins, and any set photos we can get, it's just going to be remarkable. But again, please feel free to share your thoughts. Obviously, we know the series is going to be helmed by Deborah Chow, who did episode 3 and episode 7 of the Mandalorian's first season. 2 really, really strong episodes. So we know we're in good hands with Deborah Chow. So there's so much to be excited for here. But thank you for listening to me ramble. I'd love to get your thoughts on the Obi-Wan series, and I will see you all next time. I wish everyone all the best. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I'll see you later. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.